Are you struggling in real estate or maybe even just beginning and you're looking for better ways to close more deals? You're in the right place. Each week, I pick a random house off the internet, I analyze it for a cash deal and a creative deal. Whether you're seasoned or just starting out, this podcast was specifically designed to give you practical tools that you can implement right away. Welcome to the Corner Barn. I am Chris Thompson, that bearded guy, the creative guy, second generation realtor and investor with 19 years in the business. When I created this podcast, my goal was simple. It was to help beginners and struggling investors close their first deal or their next deal, all while using low to no cost tools to analyze properties and craft strong offers. This is the weekly deal analysis. Let's get into the show. Hey, real quick, before we get into this week's episode, if you would do me a favor and hit that like button, I would greatly appreciate it. If you know somebody who might find this interesting as well, please share it with them and ask them to like it as well. This week, we are diving into North Dakota, specifically 1305 Monty Drive in Mandan, North Dakota, which is just outside of Bismarck. Let's take a look at this thing and see if we can't make a deal happen. Got some siding, roof. Yard does not look like it's in great shape here. They must be paving the road when they took this picture, I guess, or repaving the road. Little deck. Side door, mature trees, something going on here with the paint, wood floors. The kitchen has stainless, older cabinetry for sure, and that paint is kind of peeling off there as well. Tile floor, maybe? Can't tell if that's vinyl or tile, or ceramic, sorry. Good living room. Bathrooms, cool little design. Small bathroom, but fully functional. Bedroom one, two. I'd be willing to bet this is downstairs. Got a rec room downstairs. Wow, they like their DVDs or maybe video games. I'm not sure what that is, but it's a whole probably video games looking at this stuff here. A little kind of catch-all room, bedroom, and it is in the basement, but they do have the full windows, so they are true bedrooms. That's probably another bedroom, another bathroom, laundry and storage, extra fridge, and an extra freezer. Newer one of these, I'd be saying this is a dryer because we got the washer hookups here. That looks to be like a gas water heater. Yes, I'd be willing to bet the furnace is gas as well. Got some overgrowth. Definitely need some landscape help. All right. So this is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, a little over 1,900 square feet, and they're asking $195,000. Been on the market for 155 days, built in 53. Let's see what they're telling us here. 4-bedroom, 2-bath, hardwood floors, warm paint colors, newer appliances, modern countertops. So yeah, they did not replace the cabinetry there. It's nothing crazy. And they've been on the market since August of 05 and been chasing it downwards ever since. They bought it in 2015 for 173. Property taxes, they seem pretty high to me for something that size, but again, I don't know this area. I'm looking at our values here from the powers to be. 193, CoreLogic, goodness. I'd say their data is really old and not been updated correctly yet. Ethereum, so we're basically at like 195 on value according to those guys. Leading listing medium price 430, 68 days on the market, average sold price. Wow, that's a big difference from the list price. Let's see if we can't find a comparable sale. Anything under 200 here? See what this looks like. Well, we got a 4.2. 300? No, that can't be. That can't be close. What do we got up here? These are on the same street. Let's try those. 24, 152. And what else? All right, so this one didn't work. What about this one? 24 for 244. Goodness. Not a drastic difference here, but this one does look a little more updated, maybe. And it is brick. Let me see. Yeah, we're not worried about that. All right, so we don't have a great comp to go on here. But looking at what they paid for it now 11 years ago versus where they're at now, I think we're going to just split the middle here and call this 185 as our ARV. Does that sound fair? All right, we'll do that. So this isn't telling us a whole lot here. Let's see what else they are saying. Similar homes, there's a sale at 180, 225, 202. These are all fairly comparable, I guess. 114, 130. Yeah, I think our 185 guesstimate is gonna hold true pretty well. What about rentals? Apartment. What about a house? Give me a house. I'm saying apartment for rent, but yeah. All right, so 2000, 1450, 23, 25, 16. I'm gonna put a guess on here at 2000 a month. Nah, I think we're gonna go with 1900 a month for rent. I think we figured out everything that we can on Realtor. Now we're gonna jump over to the Invest Nest and break down the cash deal. Got it pulled up here on the Invest Nest. I love this site. It is super user-friendly and easy on the pocket. I will have a link below that if you want to try it out, you get your first week for free and 50% off your first month. My gift to you. If you followed the show at all, you know I use this on every single episode. So if you want to just kind of watch, go back and watch some previous episodes and see how I use it. Under details, so skip tracing is another thing that they do include in their price. If you're looking to skip trace, it's already built in, and they do not charge extra for it. Details. So let's see. Estimated value 193. Estimated mortgage balance. That's a nice one. And they got a loan in 2015. Good. All right. Sales history. We already saw that on Realtor, but we'll just kind of verify. Yeah. All right, let's analyze this thing. 1305, Monty. To figure out our purchase price, we are going to use our ARV minus 70%. I'll pull my calculator up here. I'm not sure if it'll show up on the screen. We said our ARV was going to be 184 times 70% gives us a purchase price or offer price of 128,800. I'm just going to round up to 129. 129. Closing costs, we're going to offer to pay both sides, so that should be about 4% Our lender is going to charge us 2 points, whether that is a traditional lender or an investing lender. An investor loan is something like a DSCR loan or debt service coverage ratio. They don't look at your personal financial documents. They look at what the property can rent for and how big is that spread. That's how they qualify that. Improvements, we know it needs some paint. Ultimately, let's say it's going to take, you know what? We're going to leave this number as it is. We're going to say it's perfect because that's a whole nother wrinkle that I don't feel like doing today. 25% down payment, and we want to push our term out to 30 years. And our rental income, so we're guessing it at 1900 based on what we saw on Realtor. Now I'm going to jump over to the Section 8 or HUD website and see what they're offering. This is the HUD fair market value rent, or essentially what Section 8 and HUD are willing to pay you as a landlord to put a tenant in there. So a 4-bedroom, they are saying 1718. And on the Market Street, we were thinking that it would be around 1900. I think we're going to down that a little bit to 1800. Back on the Invest Nest, and we're going to plug in our potential rent number. Property taxes comparable to what we saw on Realtor. Insurance, I like to plan for $125 a month, which is $1,500 a year. Property manager is going to cost 10%. Our tenant is going to be paying all of our utilities, so we're not going to worry about that. Your reserve fund, or I call it my war chest, that is 5% for vacancy, CapEx, and maintenance and repairs. So that's 15% off the top into a separate fund. I call it my OS fund. If you drop a comment, I'll tell you what OS stands for, but I think you can use your imagination. But in real estate, it is never a matter of if something goes wrong, it is when. Our appreciation rate on the property is about 2%. We'll keep our rent increase, yearly increase at 2% as well. We'll plan to hold this for about 10 years, and we are real estate investors. We don't pay full commissions. Let's see what these numbers look like. You were waiting to see if it cash flowed. I know. If you haven't done so already, please hit that like button. Now, let's see what that number looks like. Cash flow positive. Boom. So for almost $40,000, you can make $285 a month. Your down payment would be $32,000. DSCR 144. They generally look for a minimum of like 1.2, 1.25, so that works. Cap rate is more of a multifamily thing, but an 8.5 cap. Cash on cash return, almost 8.75. Return on investment, 17, almost 18, so 17.75. 1% rule, if you do follow that, it does hit. And here's another thing I love about the Invest Nest. It breaks all of this stuff down and shows you where all of your numbers lie. We have 270 a month going into our war chest. Our operating expenses, which are these fees here, are just shy of 600. Our mortgage is just under 650. And that puts a nice chunk of change in our pocket every month. Here is the additional breakdowns that they do. So off the bat, it's already at an 8.5% cash on cash return, which is a beautiful thing. So in the 10 years, we'll be almost at 15% by the time we go to get rid of this thing. And even more analysis of your equity. So within 5 years, you have, not even full 5 years, within probably 4 years, you have all of your original capital back. That's a good cash deal. Now that we know that this is a pretty good cash deal, now we're going to do my favorite part and jump over and analyze the creative side. This is my creative calculator. You can get it off my website, christhompsonteam.com, and I will also have a link below. Our ARV, or after repair value, we are saying is going to be $184,000. So our purchase price, I think we're going to try to give them 180 and see how the math lays out. And at 180, I'm going to try a 2% interest rate. And for my PITI, or principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, I'm going to jump over to Bankrate. This is Bankrate. I love this site as well. It's one of the free tools, just bankrate.com, but I will also drop a link below. So we are offering an 80, 180, and our down payment, this automatically defaults to 20%. I think we're going to try to get crazy here and say 0% down. I don't know if it'll work, but it's worth a try. And a 2% interest rate. Our zip code over here is 58554. Property taxes. The Invest Nest is telling us our property taxes are $294 per month. 294. And our insurance, 125. Our total PITI, or principal, interest, taxes, and insurance payment, is $1,084. Let's plug that number in. 1,084. Our potential rents we think are 1,800. Let's see. Boom, another cash flowing creative deal. So we're looking at a net cash flow of $266 a month. Gross cash flow 716, war chest 270, property manager 180. Our cash to seller, we said we're going with 0 down. We're going to try for that. Agent commissions, I think $1,500 might help. Just move them out of the way. We're not working with a wholesaler, so there is no assignment fee. Closing cost is that same 4%. Renos, we said we're not doing any because it's perfect. We know it's going to need a little more. 2 months of holding is just 2 months of this mortgage payment here, and a good TC or transaction coordinator will be about $1,500. So ultimately, you will get your original capital back in less than 4 years, and this is without any price increases. So, and that's just your closing costs, your and your holding costs and your TC costs. So, a whole lot less costs involved on this one. There it is, a good cash deal and a good creative deal. The cash deal, you're putting some money down and you're really lowballing them on the price. On the creative side, you're actually pretty close to giving them what they want. They're just going to have to wait on their money over time. Typically, on a creative deal like that, there will be a 5 or 10 year balloon. And if you want more explanation on that, please drop a comment below and I am happy to explain it. What are your thoughts on 1305 Monty Drive in Mandan, North Dakota? We had a good crash deal and a good creative deal. Which one would you prefer? That does it here for us this week in the Corner Barn on the weekly deal analysis. I am Chris Thompson, that bearded guy, the creative guy. We will catch you next week.